When this episode of Megalo started out, I actually was questioning if I was watching the wrong anime because we're in a war setting, and if it wasn't for the very distinct art style, I would have checked if I was watching the wrong episode. But I really do like learning about this new character, Aragaki, I believe is his name. And what I really like is when an anime, or any story in general, makes the antagonist, and yes, this is an antagonist that's only going to last maybe 1 or 2 more episodes, but whenever they can really humanize the villain for the character, and you can actually kind of see where they're coming from, and you don't necessarily hate them, but just kind of feel for them, that's just really good writing overall, and I really do like this character. And you can understand his hatred and where he's coming from. You know, we knew after last week that this was a guy that Pops trained in the past, but learning that he actually was shipped off to war, and, you know, Pops was training him, he told him that, you know, you'll always have a home back here. And I like learning the backstory and kind of and seeing both sides' perspectives, because this guy came back home. He got blown up, his face was scarred, he lost both of his legs, and when he came back home, the place that he really obviously loved, which was Pop's training place, it wasn't there anymore. It was closed down, and it was this almost like act of betrayal. When he got home, Pops never came to look after him. So you can understand his hatred and why he felt so betrayed, and why, when he fights in the arena, why he is so goddamn brutal. But then you also see where Pops is coming from at the very end of the episode, where you see him basically watching the TV and learning that he died, and obviously you can see why he gave up on training professional fighters and obviously switched to the more not so righteous underground fighting. And I really like this because Aragaki, you understand why he is so pissed at Pops, and you understand that Pops admits that he messed up. There's a scene where he's in this car saying like, I betrayed him, I didn't go look after him, I just accepted what was on the TV. And I like seeing that because you absolutely understand where Aragaki is coming from, and you feel for him, and you understand why he does feel so betrayed, especially after seeing Pops now with this new young blood, and he almost feels like, I was replaceable and you never even gave a damn. But on the flip side as well, if he beats Gearless Joe, he also will get a shit ton of sponsors and will be able to pay back the guy who trained him up to being someone who's a damn fine fighter, ranked 17th in this arena. And I do like seeing there's a couple of shots where you saw other people in a wheelchair, so you can see that this guy obviously trains people who are in need and kind of rehabilitates them. And I really like that because when you have someone like this, you were expecting, at least I was expecting, that I was going to hate this guy, that this guy was going to be some scumbag from the past, but I felt for him. Like, I'm not necessarily rooting for Joe or him. I actually feel like if I could have both of these people win, that'd be for the best, but that's how you write a character. When you have an antagonist, someone who's coming back to bring up the past. This is why I like Megalo. You feel like everything about this show should follow the tropes, but it's not. It's subverting the tropes and making it so damn good. And that final scene, the way they detail Joe getting seemingly knocked out, we count to 9 before it cuts, so kind of questioning, like, it easily could end there. It really could, but at the same time, you're expecting Joe to get up one more time. But who knows how that will go down. I like this show because what you expect, it always shifts it. After the first episode is pretty formulaic, but once episode 2 hits, every single episode has been subverting those tropes, and it's not the art style that makes this such a unique anime, it's how it's telling its story, how it's bringing in these characters and making this very personal story. The voice acting, the little subtle piano tracks that were being played, this was the most emotional and moving episode of the series for me. I was just so attached to this episode, and I can't believe how much I care for Aragaki as a character and how he really wants to put the past behind him. But seemingly, he's not going to go so brutal on Joe. I think he is opening up. The fact that he only gave him that one punch and was standing over him, it definitely feels like he wasn't going all in like he did want to kill Joe or really brutally hurt him like he does his other opponents. So I do like how it feels like we're getting characterization for this new character who we've only seen for really an episode, maybe an episode in 0.1% if you count last week as well at the very end. It's just great what his character brought to the table, and I love seeing Pops. Pops he easily could have been this disposable one-dimensional character, but damn it if he doesn't feel human. I love how we understand why he went to the underground, because he had this fighter. Learning that he died, of course you understand why he would throw away his more professional line of work and go to the underground, and obviously you probably get caught up in gambling, things like that. This episode did so much for the characters, new and old, and I really like Joe as a character. He easily could be that kind of guy saying like, how dare you try to get in between me and Pops here, but I like his conversation between Aragaki, and he's basically saying like, listen, you have your reasons to hate him, he has his life, I have mine, let's do this. I really like Joe and how he perceives things, how he's not this just like throw a punch first and ask questions later. He really is a thinker, and I just can't wait to see how this fight goes. Is he down for the count, or is he going to get back up? Really, I like how Megalobox, you don't quite know the direction. You do assume he's going to get up and fight for another round, but still, he easily could get knocked out there, and that's something that's really great. But let me know your thoughts. What did you think of this very moving episode of Megalobox? Your favorite moment? Let me know down in that comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you're new, also be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.